What is up, everybody? Welcome to AK Plays. I'm AK. Let's play. Alright, today I'm going to talk about why The Division is my favorite game of all time. So I've played a ton of different games, and in this video I'm going to do a little bit of Division clips at the beginning and one at the end. Everything else in between is going to be different games that I've played, highlights from those games. But kinda I'm going to explain why I haven't played any of those games in quite some time. So, The Division is my favorite game, and it has been for a long time. I played Division when it came out in, I think it would have been 1.1 is what they would have called that update. I played the game until the gear sets came out in the first incursion. I played the first incursion a few times, but there were so many glitches, everything was kind of broken, there were just issues all over the place. People were still falling through the floor on missions, it was just really bad. But I said, you know what, I'm going to come back at some point and I'll try this game out again. It has great building blocks and an awesome foundation. And so I said, alright, I'll be back at some point. I left right after those incursions, right after the first gear sets, and I went and played other games. I went and tried tons of different things. At that time, I still think I was playing a lot of Black Ops 3, which was kind of like the first game that I really, really loved. But I came back in about 1.6, update 1.6, I came back to The Division. And so I had only a few hours played, and I have put in unbelievable amounts of time into the game since 1.6. I have time played comparable to people that have been playing the game non-stop since it came out, and I've only been playing hardcore for the last couple of updates. So, if that doesn't speak to how much I love the game, I don't know what will. But the reasons I love it is because I come back in 1.6, and yes, my gear was trash, so I had to grind to get good gear again, and then I've grinded ever since to have what I think is almost all perfect gear. I have everything. I think I only need one item left in the Division. I need a Caduceus with Competent and Talented for my Reclaimer build. But other than that, I have everything else in the game. And I came back in 1.6 and I was amazed. Everything was fixed. They fixed a ton of the issues, they balanced the game, they made it so people weren't human tanks, because when I left in 1.1, you could literally take on an entire server of people alone if you were built correctly. And if you had a blue up, and if they were trash. But nonetheless, it was still amazing. Like, the game was very broken. I wasn't great at the time, so it wasn't like I was the one taking on servers. I was just confused how these people were invincible. And either way, I played the game. Back in the day, I come back in 1.6, they fixed a ton of issues. You didn't fall through the floor anymore. They were listening to the community. I started learning about the state of the game, and that they were listening to user feedback, that they were fixing things, balancing things, and I was not used to that. No other game have I ever seen that. And I'm sure there's tons of games that have done it, but I just never had been a part of it because I'm always playing these extremely popular games that are so big that they never listen to the players. And The Division, it is a large game, and it always was, and it still is, but they had such a tight community that it felt like a small, really close game. And it was very cool to me. They just improved things, they made it better, they continued to listen and update things and fix things. And it was very cool. So I played in 1.6. I was there for a couple of the other nerfs that happened then. I played in 1.7, and I got to enjoy the meta of ADSing and healing, because I do still miss that. That was unbelievably fun, and I felt like it was almost perfect during 1.7, and I had no complaints at that point. But then they dropped 1.8, and boy, did I not know what I was missing. They dropped 1.8, and I couldn't have been happier. Skirmish was exactly what the gift that I didn't know I wanted. Skirmish was the coolest thing for me. I didn't buy Last Stand. I didn't have the season pass, so I was a rank 1 when Skirmish dropped, and within 2 weeks of the Skirmish being out, I was a rank 99. I played that non-stop. I loved it. The whole 4v4, I didn't have to go matchmake. I didn't have to worry about going and fighting off a server. And at the time, my gear was still kind of improving, and so it was kind of cool. Everyone had balanced builds. I felt like it was a very balanced way to play. Nowadays, my view has changed a little bit because I'm kind of annoyed that Skirmish downgrades everyone's gear, especially now that classifieds are the meta. But other than that, I still kind of like the whole not having to fight a server alone thing, because if I'm playing alone and I get matched with a 4-man team that I don't really know and they might not be the best players in the world, I probably would only like to fight 4 people and kind of deal with them myself. I'd rather not fight 12 people. For that, I just go to the DZ, and we had that before, so it's kind of a cool change. I liked Skirmish when that was added, and then I liked all of the other things. I liked Classifieds, I liked how the builds were evolving, and then of course there were the issues. There was the Striker Shotgun, the Pred having no counter, and basically they fixed that. I mean, I have no complaints with 1.8.2. I mean, yeah, there's a showstopper glitch that's still running rampant, but other than that, which that's a small thing, and I only see that maybe once or twice a day, which sounds bad, but it's not, because I'm playing for probably, I don't know, 6 hours a day. So that's one occurrence every day or two, and if that happens, you know what, I'm not mad. I still think that that's enjoyable, and I'm still having a ton of fun. 1.8.2 is nearly perfect. I have no complaints. I'm enjoying this game like nobody's business, and I play it all day, every day, and I can't wait for Division 2. I think the way that they're rolling and the way that this has been going, no other game can live up, and I'm just amazed. This game has just done everything. They fixed every single issue. Okay, maybe not every issue.